The council chamber floated in space, a massive ring of metal and glass that orbited the diplomatic planet. Inside, representatives from 47 alien species sat in their special seats, each designed for their unique bodies. Some breathed different air. Some needed different gravity, but they all agreed on one thing today. Humans were dangerous. Ambassador Seventh Claw stood at the center platform. He was tall, covered in blue scales, with 4 arms that moved as he spoke. His species, the Vrex, had been in space for thousands of years. Humans had been in space for only 80 years. That was the problem. "Look at the evidence," Seventh Claw said, his voice echoing through translation devices. "In just 8 decades, humans have spread to 23 worlds. 23. Most species take centuries to establish even 5 colonies." A hologram appeared above him, showing a planet. The world looked terrible, red and orange, with volcanoes spitting fire into a dark sky. "This is Forge 7, Seventh Claw continued. "Constant volcanic activity. Surface temperature of 800 degrees in some areas. We declared it uninhabitable. Humans put 50,000 people there. They call it New Hawaii and sell vacation packages." Murmurs spread through the chamber. One ambassador, a floating jellyfish-like being, pulsed with confused colors. "And this," another hologram appeared, showing a heavy, dark world. "Gravity of 1.4 times Earth's standard. The pressure would crush most of our species within days. Humans built 3 cities there. They say it's good for muscle development." More concerned whispers. Seventh Claw raised 2 of his 4 hands. "They treat death worlds like playgrounds. They colonize planets we use as warnings in our children's schools. Don't go there. You'll die, we say. Humans go there and open restaurants." In the human section, Ambassador Chen Wei sat quietly. She was a small woman, old by human standards, with gray hair and calm eyes. She showed no emotion as Seventh Claw listed humanity's crimes. Her assistant, a young man named David, looked nervous. Chen Wei just smiled slightly. "The question before this council," Seventh Claw said, "is what to do about humanity's reckless expansion. They endanger themselves. They make us look weak. They upset the balance of colonized space." "We could eliminate them," suggested a rock-like creature from the back. Seventh Claw shook his head with all 4 shoulders. "That would make them martyrs. Other aggressive species might unite against us. Plus, humans are surprisingly hard to kill. We learned that in the border incidents." Everyone in the chamber remembered the border incidents. 3 different species had tried to stop human expansion by force. All 3 had lost. Badly. Humans were terrifying when threatened. "Prison?" suggested another voice. "Too expensive," Seventh Claw replied. "Humans breed quickly. We'd need to build new facilities constantly, and they'd probably escape. They're good at that, too." Chen Wei leaned over to David. "He's getting to it now," she whispered in English. "Watch." "So," Seventh Claw said dramatically, "we propose exile. Permanent exile to a world so hostile that even humans cannot survive it. Let nature do what we cannot." The hologram changed again. This time, the planet looked like something from a nightmare. Dark clouds swirled over rocky land. Lightning flashed constantly. The data scrolling beside it made David gasp. "World designation, Infernus 9, Seventh Claw announced. "Gravity, 1.8 times Earth standard. Atmospheric oxygen, barely 14%. Temperature range, -40 to +60 degrees Celsius, sometimes in the same day. Seismic activity, constant. Predators, megafauna class, highly aggressive. Rainfall, acidic. Fungal ecosystem, toxic to most known life." He paused for effect. "We use this world to teach our young about planetary science. This is what happens when everything goes wrong with a planet," we tell them. "No species has ever survived there longer than 6 months. Most died within weeks." The chamber filled with approving sounds. Clicks, whistles, hums. and buzzes of agreement from dozens of species. We will send 50,000 human colonists to Infernus 9, Seventh Claw said. They will take standard colonization equipment. No weapons beyond hunting tools. No military vessels. They will have what they need to try to survive. We predict complete extinction within 2 standard years. It is the kindest punishment we can offer. He turned to face Chen Wei. Do you accept this sentence on behalf of humanity? Chen Wei stood slowly. She walked to the center platform with steady steps. When she spoke, her voice was calm and clear. We accept, she said simply. Seventh Claw blinked in surprise. He had expected arguments, pleas, negotiations. You accept? Just like that? Just like that, Chen Wei confirmed. We have only one request. We need standard colonization equipment, as you mentioned, prefabricated shelters, water filtration, agricultural domes, medical supplies, and basic tools. The same package any species gets when they colonize a new world. Of course, Seventh Claw said slowly, suspicious of the easy agreement. That's fair. Then we have a deal, Chen Wei said. She extended her hand. Seventh Claw stared at it, confused by the human gesture. After a moment, he touched it with one of his claws. The council voted. 47 species unanimous. Exile to Infernus 9. As Chen Wei and David left the chamber, David finally spoke. Ambassador, with respect, we're going to die there. All of us. You saw the data. That planet will kill everyone we send. Chen Wei smiled, a real smile this time. David, where do you think humans evolved? Earth, he said, confused. Yes, Earth. A planet with ice ages and heat waves. A planet with predators that could swallow us whole. A planet with diseases, poisonous plants, and natural disasters. A planet that spent millions of years trying to kill us. She stopped and looked at him. We didn't just survive Earth, David. We conquered it. We turned it into a garden. And do you know what Infernus 9 reminds me of? David shook his head. Australia, Siberia, the Amazon rainforest, East Africa, all the places humans went, even though they were deadly, all the places we were told we couldn't survive. She started walking again. Seventh Claw thinks he's punishing us. He's actually giving us exactly what we asked for. What do you mean? We've been looking for new worlds to colonize, but the good planets are taken. The easy planets have owners. We need worlds that nobody else wants. She laughed quietly. They just gave us a free planet, David. And they even paid for our transportation. Back in the council chamber, Seventh Claw watched the departure schedule. 50,000 humans would leave in 3 months. He had expected to fill the ships with prisoners or desperate people. Instead, the human government reported receiving over 200,000 applications. People were volunteering, fighting for spots. Families were signing up together. Seventh Claw felt a strange chill run through his scales. Something wasn't right. Humans were supposed to be afraid. They were supposed to beg for mercy. Instead, they seemed excited. He dismissed the thought. In 2 years, the sensors would confirm what he already knew. Infernus 9 would be a graveyard. Humans would learn their limits at last. He had no idea how wrong he was. The colony ship Sisyphus cut through the dark atmosphere of Infernus 9. Lightning struck its shields every few seconds. Inside, 50,000 colonists strapped into their seats felt every bump and shake. Some prayed, some laughed nervously, most just held on tight. Commander Sarah Okonkwo stood on the bridge, watching the surface approach through the clouds. She was a tall woman from Nigeria, with strong hands and sharp eyes. She had run the Mars colonies for 10 years before volunteering for this mission. Mars had been hard. This would be harder. Temperature dropping to -30 outside, the pilot called out. Wait, now rising to +20. Now -15 again. This planet can't make up its mind. It's the storms, Sarah said calmly. Cold air mixing with hot air. We knew this would happen. Find us that landing zone. The ship broke through the clouds. Below them stretched a rocky plain, dark red and gray, with mountains in the distance. Lightning lit up the landscape every few seconds. Rain hammered against the ship's hull. That's acidic rain, the science officer said. pH level of 4.2 like lemon juice. Will it eat through our suits? Someone asked. Not immediately. We have maybe 3 hours before the seals start breaking down. Sarah nodded. Then we work in 2-hour shifts. Land us, Lieutenant. The ship touched down with a heavy thud. The gravity pulled at everyone immediately. Sarah felt like someone had put weights on her shoulders, her chest, her legs. Walking felt like pushing through thick water. Around her, colonists groaned and struggled to stand. Welcome to hell, someone muttered. Welcome to home, Sarah corrected. Let's get to work. The first week was brutal. They set up the prefabricated shelters in the rain, struggling against the gravity. Every tool felt twice as heavy. Every step was exhausting. They worked in shifts, rotating people in and out before the acid rain could damage their suits. On the third day, the first person died. A young man named Marcus had been setting up a water filtration unit. Something big and fast came out of the rocks. Later, they found records calling it a Ravager beast. 12 feet tall, 6 legs, mouth full of teeth like knives. It killed Marcus before anyone could react. Sarah organized hunting parties the next day. This is a death world, she told everyone. But we're from a death world too. Earth had lions and bears and crocodiles. Our ancestors killed them with stone tools. We have plasma rifles. Let's show these things why humans are apex predators. The hunting parties went out. They found 3 more Ravager beasts and killed all of them. Dr. James Park, the xenobiologist, examined the bodies with the excitement of a child opening presents. Fascinating, he kept saying. Look at this muscle structure, the bone density. This planet evolved megafauna because of the high gravity. They need massive muscles just to move. That's why they're so dangerous, but also why their meat is so protein-rich. Can we eat them? Sarah asked. I'll need to run tests, but probably yes. The biochemistry is surprisingly compatible with human digestion. That night, they cooked Ravager meat over a fire. It tasted like tough beef with a strange, spicy aftertaste. Everyone agreed it wasn't great, but it was food. They wouldn't starve. By the end of the first month, they had established a base camp. The prefabricated shelters kept collapsing under the gravity stress. The buildings were designed for Earth-normal gravity, not this crushing weight. Engineers worked overtime, rebuilding structures with local materials. They discovered the dark rocks were actually a type of basalt, incredibly strong and heavy, perfect for construction in high gravity. Zahra al-Rashid, the lead engineer, became everyone's hero. She was a small woman from Egypt who seemed to treat every problem like a puzzle to solve. The gravity is trying to crush us, she said cheerfully. So we build things that like being crushed. Wide bases, low centers, thick walls. It's just physics. The agricultural domes were another problem. They had brought seeds from Earth, wheat, rice, potatoes, tomatoes. Most of them died within days. The soil was wrong. The gravity was wrong. The light was wrong through the thick clouds. But some things grew. Zahra noticed that certain hardy plants actually thrived. Potatoes did surprisingly well. Some types of mushrooms grew faster than on Earth. And when they tried experimenting with the local fungus, they got unexpected results. This is incredible, Dr. Park said, examining a sample under his microscope. This fungus produces a compound similar to penicillin. Actually, it's better than penicillin. It kills bacteria we've never been able to treat before. The acid rain is interesting too, another scientist added. It's not just acid, it's full of organic compounds. Complex chains we've never seen before. It might have medical applications. Sarah listened to all the reports every evening. Deaths, 12 so far, mostly from accidents in the high gravity or predator attacks. Births, 3 babies born, all healthy. Food production increasing slowly. Morale surprisingly high. "Why is everyone so happy?" her assistant asked. "We're living in hell. People are dying. Everything wants to kill us." Sarah smiled. "Because we're still alive. Because we're winning. Every day we survive is a victory against a planet that's supposed to be impossible. That makes people feel strong." 3 months in, they had their first major breakthrough. Dr. Park had been studying the local ecosystem obsessively. He discovered that the megafauna predators only hunted during certain hours. They avoided the acidic rain and retreated to caves when the storms got too intense. By tracking their patterns, the colonists could plan safe times to work outside. He also found that some of the local plants were edible. Not tasty, but edible. They could supplement the Earth crops. The colony wouldn't starve. "This planet isn't trying to kill us," Dr. Park announced at a community meeting. "It just doesn't care about us. It's got its own ecosystem that works perfectly fine. We just need to learn how to fit into it." 6 months in, Sarah stood on top of the main shelter and looked at what they had built. 20 permanent structures, all made from local stone. Fields of potatoes and mushrooms growing under protective domes. A school for the 40 children in the colony. A medical center where Dr. Park's team was producing new medicines. A wall around the settlement to keep out the megafauna. It wasn't pretty. Everything was gray and red and dark. The sky was always cloudy. The rain still fell with acid that stung exposed skin. The gravity still made every movement exhausting. But it was home. An automated probe arrived that day, sent by the Galactic Concordat. It orbited the planet, scanning for signs of life. Sarah knew what they expected to find. Ruins, maybe some corpses, silence. Instead, the probe's sensors detected power signatures, radio signals, heat from buildings and fires, movement from thousands of humans. Should we send them a message? David, who had come with the colonists, asked. Sarah thought about it. No, not yet. Let them wonder. Let them worry. We'll send a message when we're ready. That night, around the fire, people told stories. They talked about Earth, about the places they came from. Someone mentioned that the temperature swings reminded them of the Gobi Desert. Another person said the gravity felt like carrying a heavy backpack while hiking in the Rockies. A third compared the megafauna to saltwater crocodiles in Australia. May Chen, a teenage girl, listened to all the stories. She had been 16 when they arrived. Now she was almost 17. She had been born on Earth but barely remembered it. Infernus 9 was becoming her world. "This place isn't that different from Earth," she said suddenly. "I mean, it's worse. But Earth was terrible too, right? Our ancestors survived ice ages and predators and diseases. They didn't have plasma rifles or prefab shelters. They had sticks and rocks. And they won." Sarah smiled at her. "That's exactly right. This planet thinks it's tough, but it hasn't met humans before." In the distance, a ravager beast roared. Someone near the fire laughed. "Dinner," they said, and a hunting party got ready to go out. Sarah looked up at the dark, cloudy sky. She couldn't see the stars, couldn't see the rest of the galaxy. But she knew they were watching. The Galactic Concordat had sent them here to die. They had no idea what they had actually done. They had given humanity a challenge, and humans loved challenges. The baby was born during a lightning storm. Her mother screamed as thunder shook the medical center. Dr. Park and his team worked quickly, their hands steady despite the chaos outside. When the baby girl finally arrived, she cried loud and strong. "Perfect health," Dr. Park announced, smiling. "Strong lungs, strong heartbeat. She's already adapting to the gravity." The mother held her daughter close. "What should I name her?" Sarah, who had come to watch, spoke from the doorway. "How about Olympia, for Mount Olympus, where the gods lived?" The mother smiled through tears. "Olympia, I like it." That baby was the 53rd birth on Infernus 9, and deaths had slowed to almost nothing now that they understood the planet. The population was growing. 8 months into the settlement, they made their first major discovery. Dr. Park had been studying the fungus that grew everywhere on Infernus 9, the orange and purple growths that covered rocks and grew in the damp caves. Everyone had assumed it was just another danger. "It's not dangerous," Dr. Park explained at a meeting. "Well, some species are. But most are incredible. Look at this." He showed them samples under microscopes, videos of experiments. The fungus produced compounds that could fight infections, reduce inflammation, even help with radiation damage. Some varieties could break down toxic materials. Others could be processed into incredibly strong fibers for clothing. "This fungus is worth millions," Dr. Park said. "Maybe billions. Pharmaceutical companies across human space will want this, and it only grows here in these exact conditions." Zara had her own discoveries. The local minerals were perfect for advanced construction. One particular type of stone, which they started calling Olympium, was stronger than steel, but could be cut and shaped with the right tools. It formed naturally in the high-pressure, high-gravity environment of Infernus 9. "We can export this," Zara explained. "Construction companies, shipbuilders, anyone who needs ultra-strong materials, they'll pay well for Olympium." Sarah listened to all of this and made a decision. "We're not just a colony anymore, we're a business. Let's start reaching out to Earth and the other human worlds. Let's show them what we have here." The first cargo ship arrived in month 10. It was a private vessel, a captain looking to make money by trading with the new colony. He expected to find desperate people willing to pay high prices for supplies from Earth. Instead, he found a bustling settlement. He walked through streets made of dark stone, past buildings that looked solid and permanent. Children played in the high gravity like it was normal. In the markets, people sold megafauna meat, local vegetables, and fungal medicines. "I'll be damned," the captain said. "You people actually made it work." "We did more than that," Sarah told him. "We're thriving, and we have products to trade. Are you interested?" The captain bought everything they would sell him. Fungal medicines, Olympium samples, even preserved megafauna meat. He paid well and promised to come back. "One more thing," Sarah said as he was leaving. "Tell people about us. Tell them Infernus 9 isn't a death sentence. It's an opportunity." The captain spread the word. Within months, more ships arrived. Some brought supplies to trade. Others brought people, scientists who wanted to study the unique ecosystem, engineers who wanted to work with Olympium, doctors interested in the fungal medicines. One ship brought someone unexpected, a tourist. His name was Jake Morrison, an extreme sports enthusiast from Earth. He had heard about Infernus 9 and wanted to experience the most dangerous planet humans had ever settled. "I've climbed Mount Everest," he told Sarah. "I've dived the Mariana Trench. I've volcano surfed on Forge 7, but this is the real challenge." Sarah wanted to say no. They weren't set up for tourism, but Jake offered to pay 10,000 credits for a one-week stay. That money could buy supplies, equipment, medicine. "Fine," she said, "but you sign a waiver. If you die, it's not our problem." Jake loved every minute. He went on hunting expeditions, tracking Ravager beasts through the rocky terrain. He trained in the high gravity until he could move almost normally. He even stood in the acidic rain, timing how long his suit could last. He took videos of everything. When he left, he posted those videos across human space. Infernus 9. The ultimate adventure got millions of views. Comments flooded in. "That looks amazing. I want to go. How do I sign up?" Sarah saw an opportunity. "We're starting a tourism office," she announced. "If people want to come here and test themselves, let them. We'll charge them for the privilege, and we'll use that money to build more, grow more, become stronger." By the end of year 1, the settlement had a new name: New Olympus. Population, 73,000. The original 50,000 colonists, plus births, plus over 20,000 new arrivals who had paid for passage. They weren't just surviving anymore. They were building a city. The architecture of New Olympus was unique. Low, wide buildings made of dark Olympium stone, designed to handle the crushing gravity. Streets were broad but not long, minimizing the distance people had to walk. Everything was built with efficiency and strength in mind, giving the city a brutal, powerful beauty. Sports evolved too. Someone started a volleyball league, but playing in 1.8G made the game insanely difficult. Players developed incredible leg strength just to jump. The games became popular entertainment, broadcast back to Earth, where people watched in amazement. Running became prestigious. A marathon on Infernus 9 was worth 3 marathons on Earth. Athletes started coming just to train in the gravity, then returning home with superior strength and endurance. The children adapted fastest. Mei Chen, now 18, was taller and stronger than she had been on Earth. Her bones were denser, her muscles more developed. She could move in the high gravity like it was nothing. She led youth expeditions into unmapped territories, finding new caves, new fungus species, new resources. "This is my world," she told Sarah one day. "I was born on Earth, but I belong here. The kids born here, they'll be even stronger than me. They'll never know any other way." Dr. Park spent his days in pure joy. He had cataloged 47 new species so far. His papers were published across human space, making him famous. Scientists wanted to come to Infernus 9 just to work with him. The ecosystem that the Galactic Concordat had called toxic and hostile was actually a treasure of biodiversity. "Every species here has adapted to extreme conditions," he explained in his lectures. "That makes them incredibly resilient and useful. The megafauna proteins can help build muscle mass. The fungal compounds fight diseases we thought were incurable. The plants tolerate temperature swings that would kill Earth crops. This planet is a biological gold mine." Food culture developed naturally. Megafauna steaks became a delicacy. The meat was tough, requiring special preparation, but when cooked right, it was delicious and incredibly nutritious. Restaurants opened in New Olympus, serving local cuisine mixed with Earth recipes. The Olympus Special, Ravager steak with mushroom sauce and potatoes, became the signature dish. Even the acidic rain found a use. Scientists discovered that collecting and processing it produced complex organic compounds useful in manufacturing. Vintage precipitation from Infernus 9 became a trade commodity. Engineers found it helped in creating certain types of advanced circuits. Year 2 arrived with celebration. New Olympus threw a festival marking 2 years of survival. Over 90,000 people attended, including visitors from 3 other human worlds. The streets filled with music, food, competitions, and exhibitions showing off what they had built. Sarah stood on a platform and gave a speech. 2 years ago, the Galactic Concordat sent us here to die. They thought this planet would break us. Instead, we broke the planet. We tamed it. We made it ours. And now, I think it's time we sent them a message. The crowd cheered. David, Sarah's assistant, approached with a tablet. "The Tourism Bureau has finished the promotional materials," he said. "Are you sure about this?" Sarah grinned. "Absolutely. Send it to the Concordat. Let's show them what humans can do." The promotional brochure was colorful and cheerful. It showed happy families walking through New Olympus, athletes training in gravity gyms, hunters posing with megafauna trophies, scientists examining glowing fungus, children playing in the streets. The text was even better. "Visit New Olympus on Infernus 9. Experience extreme gravity adventure. Hunt prehistoric megafauna. Taste the galaxy's most exotic cuisine. Revolutionary medical treatments available. Real estate prices starting at only 50,000 credits. The challenge of a lifetime awaits. At the bottom, in smaller text, thank you to the Galactic Concordat for this wonderful opportunity. They transmitted it directly to the Concordat Council on Centrum Prime. Then they waited. In the meantime, life continued. More ships arrived daily. More people wanted to move to New Olympus. Some came for opportunity, some for adventure. Some just because they had heard it was humanity's greatest achievement. Mei Chen led an expedition to the northern mountains, discovering a whole new ecosystem in the volcanic regions. Zara designed plans for 3 new satellite towns around the main city. Dr. Park opened a research institute, attracting scientists from across human space, and every night people gathered around fires like they had in those early days. They shared stories, ate megafauna meat, and looked up at the cloudy sky. They couldn't see the stars, but they knew they were making history. Sarah recorded a personal message and attached it to the tourism brochure. In the video, she stood in the center of New Olympus, buildings and people visible behind her. She looked directly at the camera, directly at the Galactic Concordat, and smiled. "Thank you," she said simply. "Thank you for the opportunity." The message arrived at Centrum Prime during a routine council session. Ambassador Seventh Claw was reviewing trade agreements when his assistant interrupted him. "Sir, we have a transmission from Infernus 9. Seventh Claw looked up, confused. "That's impossible. Infernus 9 is a dead world. There's nothing there to transmit." "The automated sensors show active power signatures," the assistant said nervously. "They have been for months, but we thought it was equipment malfunction. But now there's a direct transmission. From humans." A cold feeling spread through Seventh Claw's body. "Show me." The promotional brochure appeared on his screen. Bright colors, smiling humans, a city made of dark stone. The text promised adventure, exotic food, medical tourism, and real estate opportunities. "This is a trick," Seventh Claw said immediately. "Humans are clever. They're trying to fool us with fake transmissions. The sensors must be hacked." But his assistant pulled up more data. Satellite imagery showing a growing settlement. Heat signatures from thousands of life forms. Radio chatter between ships coming and going from the planet. Trade records showing exports of minerals and biological materials. "It's real, sir," the assistant whispered. "They're alive, all of them, and more have arrived." Seventh Claw felt his scales turning pale. "Call an emergency council session, now." Within hours, representatives from all 47 species gathered in the council chamber. The mood was tense, confused. Many thought it was a joke. The hologram showed the promotional video that Sarah had recorded. "Thank you for the opportunity," Sarah's image said, smiling that calm human smile. The chamber erupted in chaos. Multiple species tried to speak at once, their translation devices creating a wall of noise. Seventh Claw had to call for order 3 times before they quieted down. "This cannot be real," said the rock creature ambassador. "Infernus 9 is a Class 12 death world. The designation is official. Nothing can survive there." "Humans aren't nothing," someone else pointed out. "They're still organic life. They need oxygen, water, reasonable temperatures. Infernus 9 has barely any oxygen, toxic rain, extreme temperatures, deadly predators, and crushing gravity." Ambassador Chen Wei sat in the human section, looking amused. She had been expecting this reaction for months. Beside her, young David could barely contain his excitement. "Ambassador Chen Wei," Seventh Claw addressed her directly. "Is this transmission authentic?" "Completely authentic," she replied. "Though I should mention, the real estate prices have already gone up. High demand, you understand." "This is impossible," Seventh Claw insisted. "Our projections showed complete extinction within 2 years. It's been exactly 2 years. They should all be dead." Chen Wei stood and walked to the center platform. "May I show the council something?" Before anyone could object, she pulled up additional data. Population numbers, birth rates, export manifests, medical research papers, architectural plans, videos of daily life in New Olympus. One video showed children playing some kind of ball game in the high gravity. They jumped and moved with an ease that made the watching aliens feel sick. Another showed a hunting party taking down a Ravager beast with coordinated precision. A third showed a bustling marketplace with humans trading goods, laughing, living. "You sent us to a hell world," Chen Wei said calmly. "But humans evolved on a hell world. Earth was ice and fire, predators and disease, starvation and disaster. We survived all of it. We mastered all of it. Infernus 9 is harsh, yes, but it's not worse than Earth was 100,000 years ago. And our ancestors conquered Earth with stone tools and fire." The chamber was silent. Every ambassador stared at the videos, trying to understand how this was possible. "You're saying," the floating jellyfish creature pulsed slowly, "that humans are simply adapted to death worlds?" "I'm saying humans are adaptable to anything," Chen Wei corrected. "Give us a problem, we'll find a solution. Give us a challenge, we'll overcome it. Send us to die on your worst planet, and we'll turn it into a vacation destination." Seventh Claw felt something he hadn't felt in decades. Fear. Real, genuine fear. "What do you want?" he asked quietly. "Full membership in the Galactic Concordat," Chen Wei said immediately. "Not probationary status, full membership with all rights and privileges, and an apology would be nice." "Apology?" Seventh Claw's voice cracked. "We tried to kill your people, and we turned it into a profit opportunity. I'd say we're even, but yes, an apology. You owe us that much." The council dissolved into arguments. Some species wanted to admit they were wrong. Others refused to believe humans could be this resilient. A few suggested sending military forces to verify the truth. "I have a better idea," Chen Wei said, cutting through the noise. "Send a diplomatic delegation. Come visit New Olympus. See for yourselves what we've built. We'll even give you the tourism package, half price for council members." It took 3 weeks to organize. The delegation consisted of representatives from 10 species, including Seventh Claw. They approached Infernus 9 in a diplomatic vessel, watching nervously as lightning crackled across the planet's surface. "Still looks like hell," Seventh Claw muttered. "Wait until you see the city," his assistant replied, studying the scanners. "Sir, there are over 100,000 life signs down there. Most human, but some are not human." That surprised everyone. They landed at the designated spaceport, a wide platform made of the dark local stone. As the airlock opened, the delegation felt the gravity immediately. Most of them collapsed. Only the rock creature ambassador could stand, and even he struggled. Humans in protective suits helped them into gravity assist harnesses, mechanical frames that helped support their weight. They wheezed and gasped, but managed to stay upright. Sarah met them personally. She walked in the crushing gravity like it was normal, carrying equipment that would have been impossible for most species to lift. Behind her, human workers moved with purpose, barely noticing the alien visitors. "Welcome to New Olympus," Sarah said cheerfully. "Please watch your step. The gravity takes some getting used to." They took the delegation on a tour, through the streets where children played, past the markets selling exotic goods, into restaurants where megafauna steaks were served. Through research facilities where Dr. Park's team studied the unique ecosystem, to manufacturing plants where Olympium was processed and shaped, up to observation platforms where they could see the full extent of the city. Everywhere they looked, they saw life, activity, growth, success. One member of the delegation, a young researcher named Talara from a species called the Minori, seemed fascinated rather than horrified. She asked questions constantly. How did the gravity training work? What were the medical applications of the fungus? How did humans manage the temperature swings? We adapt, Sarah explained simply. That's what humans do. Give us a problem, we'll solve it. Give us a challenge, we'll overcome it. They visited a school where children learned in a building that could crush most aliens by its sheer weight. The teacher was explaining the ecosystem of Infernus 9, treating the deadly predators and toxic environment as simple facts of life. "This is normal for them," Talara whispered. "They don't even realize how impossible this is." That evening, the delegation was treated to a feast. Ravager steak cooked 3 different ways. Local vegetables that had adapted to the harsh conditions. Mushroom dishes that were actually delicious. Even beer brewed from native fungus. Seventh Claw tried the steak. It was tough, spicy, but strangely good. "I can't believe I'm eating this," he said. "It's an acquired taste," Sarah admitted. "But after 2 years, we've acquired it." The next day, they took the delegation to the beginner gravity gym, a place where new arrivals trained to handle the high gravity. The delegation tried it, even with their assist harnesses. Within minutes, most were exhausted. Human children walked by, going to their normal activities, barely noticing the struggling aliens. "How?" Seventh Claw demanded. "How are your children stronger than our adults?" "Evolution," Dr. Park explained. He had joined them for this part of the tour. Humans evolved under selection pressure. The weak died. The strong survived. We spent millions of years adapting to harsh conditions. You can see it in our biology. Dense bones, efficient muscles, high endurance. We're built for adversity. "But we're older species," Seventh Claw protested. "We've been in space for thousands of years. We have better technology." "Technology doesn't replace biology," Dr. Park said gently. "You adapted to easy worlds, garden planets where everything was perfect. That made you comfortable, but it also made you fragile. Humans adapted to Earth where nothing was easy. That made us resilient." On the final day, they showed the delegation the expansion plans. 3 new satellite towns being built, plans for a spaceport that could handle 20 ships at once, a university being designed to attract students from across human space, mining operations extracting Olympium from the mountains, agricultural projects growing food for export. "In 5 years, we expect New Olympus to have a population of 500,000, Sarah explained. "In 10 years, maybe 1 million. This isn't a colony anymore. It's a world. Our world." Before leaving, Seventh Claw asked to speak with Sarah privately. They stood on an observation platform, looking out over the city. Lightning flickered in the distance. Rain fell, that acidic rain that humans had learned to harvest and use. "I was wrong," Seventh Claw said quietly. "I thought we were punishing you. I thought we were teaching you a lesson about the limits of your expansion." "You did teach us a lesson," Sarah replied. "You taught us that when other species look at a world and see a death trap, humans see an opportunity. You taught us that we're stronger than you thought, stronger than we thought." "What will you do with the other hell worlds?" he asked. "There are dozens of planets we've marked as uninhabitable." Sarah smiled. "Are you offering them to us?" Seventh Claw was quiet for a long moment. Then he laughed, a strange clicking sound from his throat. "I suppose I am. Better you take them than leave them empty. At least with humans living there, they'll be used for something." The delegation returned to Centrum Prime with their report. The evidence was undeniable. The tourism brochure was real. New Olympus was real. Humans had not only survived Infernus 9, they had conquered it. The emergency council session lasted for 3 days. In the end, they voted. 47 species, this time with much less confidence than before. Humanity received full membership in the Galactic Concordat. And Seventh Claw issued a formal apology for misjudging humanity's resilience and adaptability. Chen Wei accepted graciously. "Thank you," she said. "We forgive you. And if you have any other death worlds you need colonized, just let us know. We're always looking for new opportunities. 3 years after the first landing on Infernus 9, Ambassador Chen Wei stood before the full Galactic Concordat once again. But this time she wasn't defending humanity. She was making demands. "Full membership is appreciated," she said, her voice carrying through the translation devices. "But humanity has proven we can succeed where others cannot. We propose a new arrangement. Give us access to the worlds you've abandoned, the planets you call death worlds. Let us colonize them, develop them, turn them into something useful." The council chamber filled with worried murmurs. Seventh Claw, who had become oddly friendly with Chen Wei over the past year, spoke carefully. "You want us to give you our worst planets?" "You're not using them," Chen Wei pointed out. "They're just sitting there marked as hazards on your star charts. Give them to humanity. In exchange, we'll share the resources we develop. Trade agreements, technology exchange, medical discoveries, everyone benefits." "And if you fail?" someone asked. "If these planets are too harsh even for humans?" Chen Wei smiled. "Then we fail, but I don't think we will. Do you?" The council voted. It wasn't unanimous this time. 10 species voted against, worried about humanity's growing influence. But 37 species voted in favor. The logic was simple. Better to have humans on death worlds than competing for the good planets. Humanity gained access to 5 new hell worlds. The announcement spread across human space like fire. Within weeks, colony ships were being prepared. Families signed up, adventurers volunteered, corporations invested, scientists prepared expeditions. Everyone wanted to be part of the next new Olympus. The 5 worlds were each unique in their horror. One had gravity even higher than Infernus 9, 2.1 times Earth standard. Another had a methane atmosphere that required sealed habitats. A third was a frozen wasteland with temperatures that could freeze carbon dioxide. The fourth was a desert world with sandstorms that could strip flesh from bone. The fifth was a water world with pressure at the surface equal to Earth's deepest oceans. "We'll take them all," Sarah said when she heard. She had become the unofficial leader of humanity's frontier expansion. Every world is a challenge. Every challenge is an opportunity. But not everyone in the galaxy was happy with humanity's success. The Vrex species, Seventh Claw's people, split into factions. Some admired humanity's resilience, others feared it. A group of Vrex extremists started spreading propaganda about human expansion and the Death World threat. "They're taking worlds we didn't want," Seventh Claw argued in Vrex political forums. "This is not a threat, this is a solution." But fear is hard to fight with logic. Some species started viewing humans with suspicion. What if they wanted more than just death worlds? What if their next target was garden worlds, the comfortable planets where most species lived? Chen Wei addressed these fears directly. She called a press conference that was broadcast across the entire Concordat. "Let me be clear," she said, looking into the cameras. "Humans don't want your garden worlds. They're too soft for us. Too easy. We've spent millions of years adapting to harsh conditions. That's what we're good at. Give us a paradise planet, and we'd be bored within a generation. Give us a hell world, and we'll build a civilization that lasts forever." She paused, letting that sink in. "We're not your competitors. We're your specialists. You handle the comfortable worlds. We'll handle the impossible ones. Together we'll make sure no habitable planet goes to waste." The speech helped. Many species relaxed, but some still worried. Meanwhile, New Olympus continued to grow. Year 3 saw the population reach 150,000. The satellite towns were complete, each specializing in different industries. One focused on medical research, another on mining and manufacturing, a third on agriculture and food production. Tourism became the city's biggest industry. People came from across human space and even from other species. The brave ones, the curious ones, the ones who wanted to prove something to themselves. They paid good money to experience the challenge of Infernus 9. The tourism office created different packages: the survival weekend for extreme adventurers, the scientific expedition for researchers, the culinary tour for food enthusiasts who wanted to try megafauna cuisine, even a family adventure package for humans who wanted to show their children what real challenge looked like. Mei Chen, now 21, had become famous across human space. She led expeditions into the deepest, most dangerous parts of Infernus 9. Her videos were watched by millions. She had found 3 new ecosystems, discovered 5 new megafauna species, and survived situations that would have killed most people. "This planet made me who I am," she said in an interview. "I was just a scared kid when we landed. Now I'm strong, confident, capable. Infernus 9 doesn't give you anything easy, but it gives you everything you earn." Dr. Park's research institute had become the most prestigious xenobiology center in human space. Scientists came from every human world to study at New Olympus. The fungal medicines developed there were saving lives across the galaxy. 3 major diseases had been cured using compounds found only on Infernus 9. "Every harsh environment produces unique adaptations," Dr. Park explained in his lectures. "Life on death worlds has to be creative to survive. That creativity produces biological innovations we can use. Infernus 9 alone has given us more medical breakthroughs than a dozen garden worlds combined." Zara's engineering innovations spread across human space too. Olympium became the construction material of choice for heavy-duty applications. Ships, space stations, and buildings on high-gravity worlds all used Olympium. New Olympus exported it by the ton, making the planet wealthy. Year 4 brought an unexpected development. Talara, the young Minori researcher who had visited with the delegation, requested asylum on Infernus 9. She wasn't the first alien to do so. A handful of brave individuals from other species had come to live in New Olympus, usually wearing gravity-assist harnesses and living in specially designed habitats. But Talara wanted to adapt fully. She underwent experimental treatments, a combination of genetic therapy and gradual gravity exposure. Dr. Park supervised personally. It took months, but slowly, Talara's body changed. Her bones grew denser, her muscles stronger. She learned to move in the high gravity. "Why?" Seventh Claw asked her when he visited. "Why would you do this to yourself?" "Because I want to be part of something greater," Talara said. "My species lives on comfortable worlds. We're safe, stable, unchanging. But we're also stagnant. Humans push boundaries. They grow. They challenge themselves. I want to be part of that." She wasn't alone. More aliens started applying for asylum on the human hell worlds. Not many, most species couldn't adapt. But a few brave individuals joined humanity's frontier colonies, drawn by the challenge and the sense of purpose. Year 5 marked a major milestone. The 5 new hell worlds all had successful colonies. Each had a population of at least 30,000. Each was exporting resources and developing unique industries. Together with New Olympus, they formed a network of frontier worlds that contributed significantly to humanity's economy and prestige. The Galactic Concordat couldn't ignore humanity anymore. What had started as a punishment had become a demonstration of power. Not military power. Humans still had a relatively small fleet, but the power of adaptability, the power of resilience, the power to thrive where others would die. A new proposal came before the Council. Several species had planets they wanted to colonize but couldn't. Worlds that were too harsh, too dangerous, too expensive to develop. Could humanity help? The proposal was simple. Humans would provide colonization expertise, gravity training, survival techniques, and adaptive technology. In exchange, they'd receive payment and a share of any resources developed. "We're offering to help you colonize your own worlds," Chen Wei explained. Worlds you abandoned because they were too difficult. We'll teach you our techniques, share our technology, help you adapt, and everyone profits. It was brilliant business. It positioned humanity as essential to galactic expansion. It made them partners rather than threats, and it opened up new markets for human expertise and technology. The vote passed easily. Humanity officially became the frontier specialist species of the Galactic Concordat. Sarah stood on the observation platform in New Olympus, looking out over the city she had built. 5 years ago, this had been a barren, hostile plain. Now it was home to 180,000 people, a city with schools, hospitals, universities, restaurants, theaters, and spaceports, a city that was growing every day. "We did it," David said beside her. He had been with her since the beginning, and he looked as proud as she felt. "We did more than that," Sarah replied. "We changed what's possible. We showed the galaxy that humans don't just survive, we thrive. Give us your worst, and we'll turn it into something beautiful." Below them, the streets were busy. Humans going about their lives. Children born on Infernus 9, stronger and more capable than any Earth-born generation. Scientists making discoveries, engineers building new structures, hunters bringing in megafauna for the restaurants, tourists arriving to test themselves, and in the sky, despite the clouds and storms, Sarah could see the lights of ships coming and going. Ships bringing new colonists, new trade, new opportunities. Commander Sarah Okonkwo retired the next year. She had earned it. New Olympus had a new governor, a young woman who had been born on Infernus 9. Sarah moved to one of the satellite towns and spent her days writing a book about the colony's history. Mei Chen took over as the lead expedition coordinator. She trained the next generation of explorers, teaching them how to survive in the harshest environments. Many of her students went on to lead expeditions on the other hell worlds humanity was colonizing. Dr. Park continued his research until he was too old to work. His institute trained thousands of students and produced hundreds of breakthrough discoveries. When he died at age 87, they named a new fungus species after him. Zara became the chief engineer for all of humanity's frontier worlds. She designed the systems and structures that let humans survive on planets that should have been impossible. Ambassador Chen Wei served another 20 years before retiring. She watched humanity grow from a small probationary member of the Concordat to one of its most influential species, not through military might, but through adaptability and determination. Seventh Claw and Chen Wei became unlikely friends. They would meet for drinks every few months, always on a neutral station where the gravity was comfortable for both of them. "You know," Seventh Claw said during one meeting, "I used to think sending you to Infernus 9 was punishment. Now I realize it was the best thing we ever did for you." "It was," Chen Wei agreed. "You gave us a challenge. You gave us a chance to prove ourselves. And we took it." "What's next for humanity?" Seventh Claw asked. "You've conquered 6 death worlds. You're helping other species colonize difficult planets. Where do you go from here?" Chen Wei smiled. "Wherever there's a challenge, wherever someone says, 'That's impossible.' That's where you'll find humans. Because impossible is just another word for not yet." 10 years after the first landing on Infernus 9, the population reached 500,000. The city had expanded into the mountains and across the plains. New Olympus was no longer just a colony. It was a capital, the first of humanity's frontier worlds, and a symbol of what humans could achieve. The tourist reviews on the Galactic Concordat's information network told the story best. New Olympus, 4.5 stars, excellent adventure destination. The gravity nearly killed me. And I loved every minute. -half star because I vomited 3 times from the stress. Worth it. Would visit again. The megafauna steak is amazing. If you want to test yourself, this is the place. Nothing easy about it, but that's the point. The humans there are the strongest, toughest people I've ever met. Inspiring and terrifying in equal measure. Brought my kids here to show them what real challenge looks like. They'll never take comfort for granted again. New Olympus teaches you what you're capable of when you refuse to give up. And at the bottom of every review, a note. Thank you to the Galactic Concordat for this wonderful opportunity. In the end, the Galactic Concordat had tried to punish humanity by sending them to a hell world. Instead, they had given humanity exactly what they needed: a challenge, an opportunity, and a stage to show the galaxy what humans were capable of. They had sent humans to die. Humans sent back a tourism brochure, and the galaxy would never look at humanity, or death worlds, the same way again.